Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, of all of the things that I thought would get me in hot water with the listening audience, my disgust at you milk drinkers was not on the list, but it apparently has gotten me in a tremendous amount of hot water and has given carte blanche for the super texters to allow the accusations to fly with regard to why I do not care for milk. It is 7 minutes after 4 o'clock. Thank you for being with us. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. One of the things that many of you like about this radio show is we're like, as they say, a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, and I suppose today is one of those days. On this Thursday, December 18, 2025, it is episode 946 of our gatherings. That means Friday's 947, 28, 29. Oh, Wednesday, when Jackson will not be here. Next Wednesday will be our 950th episode of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Well on our way to 1,000. Will Jackson be here for 1,000? Who knows? It's up in the air, 6-7.
Matt, we can do this again, but this is your fault.
My fault?
Yes.
How so?
Because you told me you were taking off that day. So I took off, and then I was asked to cover something else. And I said, sure, because I was like, oh, Matt's not going to be here. I'll come in for a couple hours.
So Jackson's working on Wednesday.
I am.
Wednesday, guys. He just doesn't want to be with you.
You didn't want to be either.
I'm here. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm here.
You were trying to take off. Your original plan was, we had a plan, and mine worked, and yours didn't.
You know what? You're remembering this different.
I am not remembering this differently.
No, you are. Because you asked me if I was taking Christmas Eve off, and I said I'm not sure. I know I'm taking the day after Christmas off. This was before they told us that the day after Christmas was an official company holiday. Remember that? When they told us that, I said I'm definitely taking Friday off, and I'm taking the next week off. So I don't know what I'm doing on Christmas Eve, but I'm going to ask Cameron about it, is what I said.
And then we got the day after Christmas off, and you go, yeah, I'm not working Christmas Eve.
I did not. I deny it. Go back and listen to the tape.
There is no
not on tape. Oh, well, then I win.
Ken, what do you think happened?
I just do the news.
No
That's
help.
good.
No help from Ken.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So I made the proclamation. There was a story that made the rounds in news circles regarding whole milk. And apparently it has been an effort on the part of Glenn Thompson, who is a representative out of Pennsylvania, Republican out of Pennsylvania, who has sponsored a bill for the last however many years that would bring whole milk back to our schools. 0152 says, no show prep is below your usual high standards. You've done the milk bit before. Still the best show going. Look, I wasn't going to milk the bit. Hello. I wasn't going to milk the bit for as much as I am until the nasty comments started rolling in on the super text line. So 0152, you've got to blame the folks out there that are accusing me of, well, any number of things, to include being an alcoholic. And now I got alcoholics telling me that they don't drink milk. I got alcoholics telling me that they do drink milk. I've got alcoholics telling me that milk makes a great chaser.
Ooh.
Yeah, it does for real hot sauce.
Alcoholics, Bob writes, might not drink milk, but beer drinkers do.
That is just a nasty tummy you got going there.
There's nothing better than a big glass of milk after waking up in the middle of the night.
That'll just make you get up in an hour.
9009 says, as much as I detest to say this, it actually sounds like Action Jackson has more veracity in his statement than Matt does with his I deny it. I never filed for Christmas. Did you ever file for Christmas Eve off?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
And so you had to go to the office and unfile it to go work somewhere else?
No, they just said, could you do this?
Uh-huh.
Because the times are different. It's not like I'm going to be on the air at the same time y'all are, just not over here.
You know, in my heart, you are. In my heart, it's like you are. It hurts my soul, Jackson. We're the only mammals on the planet that drinks another mammal's secretion. If you think about it, it's pretty gross. I agree with you. I don't disagree. Whole milk is absolutely essential to your body. You need the fat. Low fat, the only the only other percentages that are really bad for you. As you get older, Matt, you're going to need it. I drink with protein. You do not need milk for fat, but you don't need milk for anything. You can get what you receive through milk from other sources. 4963, I appreciate the fact that you like milk. And if you want to drink milk, nobody's telling you not to drink milk. I'm telling you that I don't like milk. I think milk is gross. I think milk is for baby cows. And I can get everything that is available in milk in other sources. Secondarily, as has been repeated, I just would suggest that we're the only species on planet Earth that continues to drink milk into adulthood. And you got to think why that is. Now, chocolate milk, I don't consider chocolate milk to be like milk. Chocolate milk's more like a dessert, and it's delicious, and I enjoy that.
There's a study that says fat cheese and fat cream holds off dementia.
Huh.
I bet you fat milk does too.
Maybe so. 6398 says, coming from a true alcoholic, moonshine and milk, they're great together.
Ooh, I bet milk would be great with that oatmeal cookie moonshine I had last weekend.
Kevin says the best part of the milk is the nipple. Kevin! Kevin!
Matt, do you read these super texts before you say them into a microphone?
Kevin!
Matt!
What? I didn't do it. Kevin did it.
Proofread your super text.
Y'all blame Kevin.
Well, just ask a baby cow.
John says, I'm a lot older than you, Matt. I drink about 2 or 2.5 gallons of milk a week. I love it. I've not drank alcohol in 30-plus years, but I've drank loads of milk. Milk is the best thing to ease. Okay, well, anyway, you know what? I'm going to let Ryan put a capper on the milk talk here. A lot of accusations are flying about who's an alcoholic, who's not an alcoholic based on milk drinking. I got the Alcoholics Brigade coming out telling me, no, I'm an alcoholic and I drink plenty of milk, which is an odd proclamation to make, but whatever. Ryan, what do you think?
Hey, Matt, I'm just saying I think milk is very disgusting. My wife can drink a whole glass of milk at dinner. I don't know how she does it, but it's definitely gross. I wanted to talk real quick about the reclassification of marijuana that Trump is doing.
Yeah.
I am a Middle Tennessean, through and through Middle Tennessee. I relocated to Florida 2 years ago, partly because of work and the other part because Florida has medical marijuana. And being a veteran, I don't like to take all the pills that the VA likes to give you. And so I think medical marijuana is far more beneficial. And it should be legal. I was hoping Trump would do a little bit more with the medical marijuana than just reclassifying it. I think that's a great step in the right direction. And if Tennessee were ever to get medical marijuana, I would come right back.
You know, I think it's on the way. I think you're going to see medical marijuana for almost every state in the union in the next 5 or 6 years. Sorry about that, Ryan. We're kind of losing you there, but I caught the gist of what you were saying. We're going to talk about that in just a moment after we finish up the milk talk. But, yeah, the President of the United States signed an executive order. I would like to see that codified through the Congress of the United States of America, as I would like to see most of his executive orders codified. So we'll get into that in just a second. I need to clean a couple of things up. Number one, I'm not telling anybody what to do with their own bodies. I don't tell people what to do with their own bodies. I don't believe that you or anyone else should be dictated to what you do or do not consume within your own body. Someone say, well, does that include drugs? Yes, that includes drugs. I understand why we have a war on drugs. I understand that, sadly, we have far too many drugs being manufactured in pharmaceutical industries and in laboratories. But that which is naturally occurring on planet Earth should not be – a government should not prevent those naturally occurring substances from being consumed by grown-ups who know the difference. Kids are a different deal, right? Obviously, a 10-year-old cannot make a mature enough decision to consume alcohol or cigarettes or marijuana or anything else. I'm not trying to get into a debate on drugs. I'm just telling you where I'm at on it. And I'm certainly not telling you that you ought not to be able to drink milk. Y'all have at it. Y'all can suckle it straight from the teat if you would like. If you would like.
Real fresh.
Our good friend Dusty Slay, who might be along next week, I hope he comes on Wednesday so Jackson misses him.
You better not.
Our good friend Dusty Slate has a great bit about a milk bit. He has a great milk bit because he's like, who was the first guy that decided that would be a good idea? Look at that cow over there. He's just going to town. I need to get me some of that, Dusty says. And he was like, well, you know, they didn't like start and end on cow milk. They probably tried a lot of different types.
Might have tried pig milk.
Dog milk. Goat milk.
Well, goat milk, yeah.
I mean, I think people still do goat milk, huh?
I believe they do.
I think so. And, not so good now, is it? Everybody's going, oh, goat milk, that's gross. Well, now you know how I feel about cow milk.
I hear goat milk is real good in cheese. I don't know if I've ever had goat milk cheese, but I'd try it.
I mean, I would try almost any cheese. That's different.
It's not a glass of milk.
Yeah, I mean, really, let's be honest. Jackson, cheese really has nothing to do with milk. Well, let's just call it.
It's
like
dairy.
Nothing to do with it. Completely different genres. You eat one, you drink the other. Come on, Jackson, keep up. I mean, it really has nothing to do with one another. I don't even know why you brought it up.
What about yogurt?
I don't like yogurt either.
You don't like yogurt?
Not a big fan.
You don't like the gurt?
I'm not. I'm a cheese guy. Like the cheese. There's not a lot of food that I don't like, but do you do cottage cheese?
No.
Ugh. Oh, see? Why not? Why'd you make that face? Huh? Now we found something. See, it's different when it's you doing it. Everybody giving me hell, calling me an alcoholic because I don't drink milk. And I say cottage cheese. Ugh, gross. I saw what you did in there.
I like cottage cheese on tomatoes. Do you know you can make a whole bunch of stuff with cottage cheese? Like you can make casseroles with cottage cheese.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. I mean, milk in things, that's a different story. But just drinking a big old glass of milk, I'm not a fan. Okay, President Donald Trump signed an executive order rescheduling marijuana to a lower drug classification. It's a move that is long been overdue. Will ease federal restrictions on the drug without legalizing it at the federal level. Here's the lowdown. Donald Trump's executive order moves marijuana from a Schedule I drug, a classification reserved for those drugs that are highly susceptible to abuse and have no known medical use, to a Schedule III substance, which is a designation that suggests it poses a lower risk for abuse and may have some medical benefit. The directive is a victory for those growing cannabis or the cannabis industry and a broader movement to legalize marijuana, a cause that took off last a decade as many states voted to legalize the drug for medical and recreational purposes, despite the fact that it was listed as a Schedule I federally. Trump said in an Oval Office address, I want to emphasize that the order I'm about to sign is not the legalization of marijuana in any way, shape, or form, and in no way sanctions its use as a recreational drug. He was surrounded by medical doctors and public health officials when signing the executive order. I was intimately involved in the legalization of CBD oil in Alabama. I am proud to say that it was a cause that I took up with a number of other individuals at a time where I met someone, and I've told this story in the past. I met someone, a father by the name of Dustin Chandler, who happened to be a Hoover Police Department officer at the time, who had a daughter with a rare neurological condition called CDKL5. That condition caused seizures in Carly regularly and rapidly. As a matter of fact, it was believed that she was having between 250 and 300 mini seizures per day. CBD oil was effective enough to reduce that number from 250 to 300 to 10 or less per day. It was incredibly effective. That's CBD oil, and that comes directly from marijuana or cannabis. Obviously, the use of cannabis as a recreational drug has hurt its reputation as a legitimate medicinal remedy. But I think you have to separate the two. Now, for me, I don't tell people what to do in their own bodies. So a naturally occurring substance, I mean, obviously it alters your state, and we have to have rules regarding individuals, human beings, in an altered state of consciousness. So whether it's a pharmaceutical drug, whether it's a legal pill that your doctor has prescribed you and that you take that might alter your state of consciousness, maybe it's alcohol or any of the various forms, or marijuana for that sake. Anything that alters your consciousness has to be regulated in terms of what you're allowed to do while in that altered state of consciousness. So none of this has to do with driving. None of this has to do with functioning in public arenas. But it does have a lot to do with what you're allowed to do with your body in the privacy of your own home, for example. I do not believe that government should be so big that they dictate to grown people what they can and cannot consume in the privacy of their own homes. I don't. That's the end of that sentence. That's the end of that statement. I believe that government should stay out of your home and out of your bedroom as long as you are a law-abiding, consenting adult. Obviously, those that have not reached the age of majority notwithstanding, these things, in my opinion, should be legal, recreational, or otherwise. However, I beg of you, those of you that disagree with me on the recreational use, I understand that. I understand your position, even as I disagree with your position, because I think liberty dictates that we allow people to go to hell in their own fashion. Every man in a freedom-loving country deserves to go to hell in his own fashion, so long as they're not depriving others of life, liberty, and their own pursuit of happiness. Does that make sense to everyone? I hope so. That said, obviously, no, we're not talking about those that have not reached an age of maturity. But I beg those of you who disagree with me on the recreational front to stay with me on the medicinal front, the medical front. There have been, John Rose, good friend of the show, is 100% wrong on this issue. 100% wrong. Because, John, I've heard him. He's said it on my show. I've heard him on Chris's show say the same. Well, I just need to see more studies. What more studies do you need to see, man? John, I understand that you want to play to your constituency and your base, and maybe that's not what you're doing. Maybe we just have a disagreement on this front. But you do not need to see more studies, because there have been studies for the last 40 years on the efficacy of marijuana when it comes to a variety of ailments. And I would like to see more studies come out on a federal level as a result of this reschedule. 615-737-9986. It's the Murphy Show on Super Talk. You want to tell everybody what I had to explain to you during the break, Jackson, about cheese?
That it doesn't come from cows, it comes from the grocery store.
Exactly right. And Jackson said, I'm not telling the truth. Jackson, you've got so much to learn, young man. Now, cheese doesn't come from cows. It comes from the grocery store, Jackson. I mean, you walk right in there and it says cheese. And you got to go all the way around the corner to get to the milk section. Come on, man. Come on, Jackson. Fake news. John in Lawrenceburg fell for it too, Jackson. You're not by yourself. John said, Matt, cheese is made from a mammal's secretion.
Ooh.
And cottage cheese is good with lasagna. And fake news. That's fake news. Fake news. Fake news. In the meantime, cheese comes from the grocery store, and milk comes from a cow's teat. And I don't do milk, but I do cheese because I love cheese. But I wouldn't drink milk. I don't like dairy. But cheese is good. Y'all with me so far? In the meantime, I'm not going to say much more about this. I'm a little bit too fascinated by it. Sandra writes in and says, cottage cheese is good with potato chips. Ugh. That's so gross.
That might be pretty good, actually.
Ken.
Put some seasoning on the cottage cheese and dip your chip in it. I'm going to try that.
While you're trying that, why don't you try Chris's suggestion too, Ken? You ready?
Okay.
Cottage cheese is good with maple syrup.
I don't know about that.
Come on, Ken.
No, sir. No, I'm not going to do that. That definitely might turn me into an alcoholic.
1513 says, I told you earlier that cheese was the best form of milk. And 1513, I've told you cheese and milk are two different things. Cheese comes from the grocery store. Y'all gotta get some education in your life, I'll tell you. In the meantime, I'm a little bit confused. So this Brown University story, guys, there's something weird. An absence of information leads to what? What do you learn on this show? An absence of information leads to speculation. And we've had a distinct lack of information when it comes to Brown University. Now, we are now being told by authorities that the Brown University suspect has been identified, but they're not telling us who he is.
Yeah, there's two reports on this. Fox News is reporting it and New York Post is reporting it. The New York Post had it that they have issued a warrant, but they're not releasing the name. Fox News has it they have obtained a warrant, which could indicate maybe they're going to search something which may or may not require a name.
So they've issued a warrant to search.
Well, I don't know.
Is it a search warrant or is it an arrest warrant?
Hey,
that's the big question.
That's not what
okay.
is being cleared up.
Okay, so yeah, that's the question then. We know that there's a warrant out there. Is it a search or arrest warrant? Investigators are now saying that they have identified the suspected Brown University shooter and are looking into whether there's a link to a murder of an award-winning nuclear scientist 50 miles away at MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. That, according to Fox News. He remains at large. Authorities have obtained a warrant, according to sources. Well, but they've identified the suspect, but why aren't they telling us?
I don't know.
One would think that the public would be of great benefit in the assistance that they need to arrest the perpetrator in this case. If you've identified the person, one would think that you have some additional photography.
Yeah, like a picture.
A driver's license photo or a different type of picture, or you've sourced this individual to different photographs on social media platforms or whatever. You're not relying any longer on the 1 or 2 or 3 surveillance camera footage still shots that they've been using over and over again.
And they also came out and said after this that this person can be anywhere.
So if this person has killed people and could be anywhere, why are they withholding this person's identifying characteristics to the general public?
Hopefully they're going to give an update today and someone will ask.
Well, if they do, we're going to carry it for you live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Unverified reports in both Providence, Rhode Island and Brookline, Massachusetts have described Nissan Sentras at the scene, although they've described it as having license plates from 2 different states. Earlier this week, FBI Boston Special Agent in charge Ted Dox told reporters that investigators were sharing intelligence regarding both cases, but had not come up with a clear tie between the two. This individual is invariably described as 5 foot 8-ish inches tall with a stocky. Can we just go ahead and say that the dude's fat? I mean, is that okay? How many times do I have to listen to people tell me that he's stocky? You know what I used to get called? I mean, I still get called stocky. And I am. I'm fat.
I'm big boned.
And
that comes from drinking a lot of milk.
I'm just fat. That comes from eating cheese. They used to call me Fat Murphy. A masked gunman barged into the lecture hall at Brown University in Providence around 4 p.m. Saturday, killed 2 students, injured 9 more. Authorities say they recovered a 9mm or multiple 9mm bullet casings from the scene. A person of interest was seen Saturday, a few minutes later, on surveillance video in the neighborhood east of the campus of Brown University. Around 8:30 at night, Monday, Massachusetts Institute of Technology professor Nuno F. Gomez Loreno, and I could be mispronouncing that last name, I apologize if I am, 47 years of age, was discovered with multiple gunshot wounds in his apartment in Brookline, a short drive from campus. He was pronounced dead at the hospital the following morning. The professor was a renowned nuclear physicist, director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, and a recipient of a presidential award honoring his research. Authorities have not described what kind of weapon was used to kill the professor. The shooting left 2 students dead, identified as Ella Cook of Alabama. The Cook family in Alabama, and I know the Mountain Brook community where she's from. It's a suburb of Birmingham. That's just horrible. She was a student there at Brown, and obviously Muhammad Aziz Umar Zakov, and I'm horrible with names, y'all. I'm not trying to disrespect the dead, but I'm trying. Of Virginia was also killed. 9 others were injured. 6 of the survivors remain hospitalized as of this afternoon, 1 in critical but stable condition. The others were in stable condition. So the question then becomes, if they give out his name, what are they worried about here? It feels like they have a motivation that has nothing to do with finding this person. It feels like their motivation is preventing us from learning the identifying characteristics of the individual so as to better find him. Why? Is it because he's not a white male? Do you mean to tell me if this dude was a white male that they would not have already identified some of his characteristics in a fashion consistent with our ability to locate him? What if we discovered during the course of the investigation that this person was a Trump supporter? I mean, look, all I'm saying is it seems that there are different sets of rules for how the police comport themselves based on what type of individual and what the characteristics of the individual that they're searching for happen to be. I don't care. I don't give a rip what this guy is. He needs to be found and brought to justice. How is releasing his name preventing the police from doing that? I would think that it would benefit the police from doing that. And oh, by the way, as 9009 notes on the super text line, the Nissan Sentra with different license plates, I mean, my gut tells me, and I'm going to go ahead and take a wag at this, that's a wild-ass guess, that these two things don't have anything to do with one another. And the Nissan Sentra connection is just a coincidence. That is a wag. Just mark it down, put it in an envelope, seal it, and we can open it up later if I'm right or wrong. Sam is next up. Sam, thank you for your call. How are you? Hello, Sam. Sammy. Sam the man. Sam Malicious. Sam Marino. No? You know, Sam was the name of the snowman in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Did you know that?
That's a great call. He made a great point.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, that's a good idea, too.
I haven't thought of that way.
I like Sam more and more. The more I hear from Sam, the better.
Sam, you keep calling into this show.
Sam, if you keep bringing it like this, I don't know what we're going to do.
I mean, Matt Murphy might be out of a job.
Might have to have daily calls from Sam. Sam, I hope you're hold on. Let me go back. Hey, Sam, if you're in a trunk, knock twice. Uh-oh. Sam's in trouble. Take care, Sam. You call us back anytime, buddy. Randy says the suspect is portly. Fat.
Yeah, I like that term, portly.
Portly. They, when they deal with a fat boy, us fat boys, there's a little
That's how they describe me if I was the suspect in a crime.
That's not
he
true.
was a portly fella with a long beard.
I bet I would get husky. He's husky. Husky? What the hell does that mean? You mean fat?
He was a portly little fella with a lengthy beard.
If you're a little bit on I'm not talking about present company, but you're much more likely to get portly if you're a little on the short side. Have you noticed that?
Oh, that's how it is.
That's how it is, right?
Yes.
If you're a big, tall guy, you're a big guy. They say,
Right.
they describe you as big.
You're big.
But if you're a shorter fella,
Yeah, it's portly.
or, you get stocky a lot, too.
Yeah.
He's a stocky fella.
But
what do
your
you mean?
your mama calls you Big Bone.
You're just big boned. My grandmother told me that. I was like, Mom, I need to lose some weight. Oh, you're just big boned. What does that mean?
It's nice. It's just being nice.
2565 says, when I hear stocky, I think big torso, but not like muscular. No. Big torso and small legs, skinny legs, or even just short legs. That's right. That's stocky. Or portly fella.
It's a portly fella. Portly little fella.
Eric says, I'm not fat, I'm well marbled. Look, I'm just telling you, that if this were a white guy, we would have more description. And I'm sick to death of the double standard that is existing in modern media with regard to describing individuals that need to be brought to justice. If we have an individual in our, for example, if we had an individual in the Nashville or surrounding community and that individual was wanted by police and they had identifying marks, if they know what type of clothing this person has, then tell us what type of clothing. Now, I understand he can change his clothes. If they know what color his skin is, tell us that too. I don't care what color it is. White, brown, black, blue, green, don't care. Hair color, don't care. Tell us. If you understand the nature of the person's ethnicity, what are we going to do if they're a they, them, and we don't know their sexuality? Just tell me what you think. Male, female, just let me know. Give me your best darn guess. Brian says, we are talking about a college campus, so they may say Rubenesque, which is Rubenesque. Rubenesque. That's the way they used to describe those meaty pinup ladies back in the day.
Oh, pinup, yeah.
Those, you know what I'm saying? Those ladies that were a little
curvy.
Yeah, there you go, Ken. Curvy. We called those women Rubenesque. See, they ain't get called husky or stocky. They were Rubenesque.
Got that way by drinking milk.
That's not cheese eating. Ernest, what's going on, brother?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm
Matt?
well, thank you.
Good. No, I was just calling because you just touched on it, but it's like maybe they're not releasing this identity because this person could be one of the they-them type individuals, and that would look bad on considering all the other assassination attempts and things like that in recent history.
So, wait a minute. I might have missed something there. What do you think the justification is? Because they don't want to mischaracterize
they don't
or stereotype?
That they are like a transgender.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, and this goes to the complete ridiculous nature of all of this transgender nonsense, Ernest, and thank you for the telephone call. If everything that I ever learned about life, there's an episode of Seinfeld that reflects on it. Remember when Jerry was carrying around the man bag, his European man bag?
Oh, man purse.
Well, no, he called it a man bag, but Kramer told him, well, that's a purse.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And then at the end, a guy steals it.
Yes.
He goes, oh, he took my European man satchel. He took my man bag. And it's like, what? My European satchel. And the police officer was like, what? My purse! He stole my purse! Yeah. Yeah, when the chips are down, it became a purse, didn't it? Well, when the chips are down, we're going to call a man and a woman, aren't we? Adam in the Borough says, I was told I was husky when I was a kid. I didn't realize what they meant until a decade later. Oh, yeah, I had to buy huskies from Kmart. My grandmother bought me husky pants from Kmart. I hated it.
Yeah. I had Tough Skins.
Ooh, Tough Skins. I remember those, too. We had, I think Huskies were Kmart brand pants. I think that's right.
I think the Tough Skins were, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you must have been leaner than me. I'm assuming that the Huskies were for larger fellas. I don't know.
Per the name.
Yeah, based on the name. Chris says, I'm not fat. I just pack a pouch. No, a punch. A punch. Yes, and I understand that most of you are fluffy. One way or the other, 53 after the hour. We'll try to get to the bottom of exactly what we know and don't know about this Brown University suspect. We'll continue talking about Donald Trump rescheduling marijuana. And Donald Trump said a few things last night on national television. There are some that are suggesting that Donald Trump got access to all of the networks because of a head fake. Do y'all think he was playing 4D chess? Because he didn't really say a lot except to defend his economic policy. Many believe that all of the networks carried the address because they thought that he was going to announce that we were going to war with Venezuela. I'll tell you the theories and see if you agree with them in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.